talk tonight for about an hour and a half on the vicissitudes of raising one Madison Christine Hood. And then the wedding syllabus got published last week, and I finally found chapter 7, Dad Speaks, 3.5 minutes. So I called Madison. I said, Madison, really, 3.5 minutes? Where's the love? She said, Dad, I was being generous. Could you do us a solid if you cut it back to 3? Can we do that? And so I'm not going to cut it to 3. I'm going to talk all I want to, because my car keys and phone were confiscated when I got here. I should have known the day that Madison was born that this was going to be my difficult child. I'm a father of 4. And my first 2 girls were born by C-section, but I thought maybe with Madison I would have a chance to deliver her. And Ann went into labor in a timely fashion, got through the first stage, got complete, and we pushed for the requisite 2 hours and weren't getting anywhere. And when babies are born, they come out looking at the floor because that's just the best way for babies to be born. If you flip that and come out looking up, it's bad news, and it's bad news for a first-time mother especially. So after 2 hours, I checked, and sure enough, I found Madison's ears, and I knew she was pointed up and looking at the sky. And so I put on forceps, and we went through 3 contractions, and pushed, I pulled, we got nowhere. And I began to fear that I would get myself into the obstetrician's worst nightmare, which is a shoulder dystocia. You get the head out and the shoulders get pinned. And I couldn't be a father, a husband, and an obstetrician all at the same time. So I called my partner. I said, Will, she's OP. You got to come over here and see what you can do. So he said, okay. And he came over, and he taught me how to do forceps. He was the best I ever knew at it. And Ann pushed, and he pulled through 3 contractions. We weren't getting very far.
And Lynn helped.
And then he looked up at me and he said, Ren, I'm losing my objectivity here. If we don't get her on the next contraction, we're going to the back, which is OB speak for we're going to do a C-section. I said, okay, fine. Well, the 4th contraction started, and Ann pushed, and Will pulled, and I had an inspirational idea, and I whipped out my Visa and MasterCards, and I waved them over Ann's abdomen, and boom! Madison's head popped out, looking up, where are the cards? And then the shoulder came, and her right arm came out, and she reached up, and she grabbed those cards, and she started a tug of war that goes on to this very day. Well, they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and in the case of Ann and her daughter, Madison, that is very true. Ann has a very aggravating habit of leaving for an appointment at roughly the time she's supposed to be getting there. And so Madison, by the age of 10, I could see Madison had inherited this gene in spades. And it got to the point where we couldn't get her out the door to go to church on Sunday and sit in the driveway blowing the horn. And finally, one Sunday, I'd had enough. And I said, that's it, we're going. And down the driveway we went. And when we got back, we found a note, scotch taped to our back door. And I'm going to share that note with you now. No salutation, she just jumps right in. I am very sorry to say, I have run away. I was coming out the door as you went down the driveway. I tried to get you to stop, but you didn't see me. Since you were such horrible parents to do this to me, I have run away. This is the part that gets me. Sincerely, Madison. 10 years old, and she spelled sincerely correctly. P.S. Find a new daughter, and maybe if you treat her right, she won't do what I did. P.S.S. God would not have wanted you to do this, so why did you? Especially on Sunday. Well, we took Madison's advice and we adopted Rachel. And Rachel became my fourth child, and she's a wonderful kid, easy to raise.
Fourth daughter.
And for 2 years, everything was hunky-dory, and then one Friday morning I get up and there's Madison at the back door. So I had to give Rachel back to her mother. And so I know you want to hear more stories about the vicissitudes of raising Madison, and I have written a book that will come out this summer if you want to purchase it. But I got a lot of the info from that by combing through the Duluth City Police citation records. It got to the point with her that they recognized her when they pulled her over. Oh, good evening, Miss Hood. Where are you off to in such a hurry tonight? If you get the book, don't miss chapter 17, How to Take a Four-Door Acura Airborne. It's not as easy as it looks. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful time. Please, please, please get back to your destinations tonight without incident, because I am flat broke and I cannot go your bail.